Selfishness and greed be your hindrance. This will surely block your way once given a chance. And all the strides you have made to progress that will fade. And all the goals that you set out for suddenly is all great. Be a leader and don't just follow. Or you could end up following clowns. Or you could be like birds that should be soaring, but somehow can get off the ground. With every step that you'll be taking, make sure you take a long hard look. And one thing to always remember, the cover can't help you judge the book. Look before you leap, cause what you sow you reap. Look before you end up in a pile of Look before you leap. For curiosity, take a peek. Look before you end up drowning in the deep. What I'm trying to tell you, don't jump unless you're sure about it. Don't jump, don't act like you're mad. Don't jump. It might be too dangerous. Think about it first. Don't jump. Once you leave the rock, don't jump. And no turning back. No, no. Think about it, my brother. Don't invest in anything you don't know about. And don't take chances if you are ever.
Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
Devon Romain.
It's now 30. Devon, I think I heard it. Let me hear now.
I'm Devon Romain.
Right, nice. Yeah, you know what? I'll leave everything off. Yeah. Yes, indeed. And it is Hard Talk. We're live on 97.5 City Sound FM,
89.5 CRFM,
92.9 out there on the Sister Isles of Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
and in Brooklyn, New York, 94.9 We Vibes Radio.
Yeah, Wade, good morning to you, bro.
Hey.
Yeah.
Kunumunu.
Tomorrow morning he has this program, eh?
Yeah.
Careful what you call him Kunumunu now, because tomorrow morning we wouldn't hear the end of it.
You understand?
Yeah, we wouldn't hear the end of it with
Yeah.
Wade. Tomorrow, for some reason, I'm not hearing properly. Check me out on that Wednesday. Yeah, I know why. I think, okay, let me try. Oh, okay, I fix it. Nice. I get to understand. Yeah, I get to understand. Yeah, I get to understand here. So, yeah. So, yes, indeed, folks, we are live with Hard Talk. It's the final day of August. Yeah, a lot of people do a lot of things in this month of August. Boy, wow. Yeah, August month. Yeah. It's also Independence Day to our Trinidadian listeners. Friends, relatives, and all you down there in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Happy Independence.
Yeah. Still trying to understand how a country that is a republic have to go to the Privy Council. Yeah, Trinidadians, time for us to fix that. They fix all kind of thing, fix that too. Yeah.
And
nice. All independent, but they're still going to the Privy Council.
And not only that,
a Republican country.
And the headquarters of the CCJ
is based there.
It's based right there in Trinidad.
But remember, the headquarters of the Privy Council is based in the United Kingdom, and they don't use it.
They don't use it either.
So, yeah, that's the thing. The headquarters of the CCJ. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, to me, it's just funny. Yeah, that it is based there, and they don't use. But time for them to use it.
Yeah, it's
time for them to use it, because you're a Republican. They became a republic in, I believe it would have been 1976. They became independent in 1962, but a republic in 1976. So, and then they did various updates to the constitution over the years. They did various amendments to their constitution. So it is time for them to also follow the lead now. Antigua and Grenada going. And yeah, I believe that the Grenadian people will accede to the Caribbean Court of Justice as the final court of appeal. Yeah, breaking the chains of colonialism. Yeah.
Most definitely.
And you know, funny enough though, Devon, I was listening this morning to our good friend, Ruggles Ferguson, speaking on the issue of the Caribbean Court of Justice together with the beautiful Brenda Batiste. Anytime we say, we gotta say BBB, the beautiful Brenda Batiste. That's how we naming it now, BBB, the beautiful Brenda Batiste. Right. So he was on with BBB this morning. And when he was on, a point that he made that I think a lot of people need to understand, because remember, there's always this discussion taking place about, oh, the Caribbean Court of Justice, we're looking for Caribbean Court of Justice, but the Queen face still on the money, and you still have Her Majesty's Prison and the Royal Grenada Police Force and Princess Alice Hospital and Princess Royal Hospital and these sort of things. Why isn't it time to change all of that too? But the thing is, understanding the difference between the two. While it's named Her Majesty's Prison, the Queen has no influence. The Queen cannot order that you release somebody from prison, nor can the Queen order that you put somebody in prison. She has no power. She has absolutely no power to order somebody. Yes, it's named Her Majesty, but that's just a name. In other words, it's just what they say, the esoteric. That's the word they use for it. I think that's the word they use for it. I will confirm. Yeah, but it's just a name that is attached to the institution. The Royal Grenada Police Force. The Queen has no power over the Royal Grenada Police Force. The Queen cannot send an order to the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force to arrest anybody or to release anybody. She cannot. She has no power to do that. While it is named the Royal Grenada Police Force, yeah, she can call the Princess Alice Hospital or the Princess Royal Hospital and say, release this person, put them out of the hospital. I don't like them. She cannot do that. Yeah, so she has no power. It's just in name. Nor can she just come to the Caribbean and say, I want all the money in the OECS. She can't order it. Nor can she say she has to get a certain percentage out of it because her face is on it. It is all just ceremonial. Yeah, it's a name. Just in name. So she cannot. Yeah? She cannot just come and say, well, all the money in the Caribbean is mine because my name, my face on it. Yeah?
Like it's just a symbol.
It's symbolic. It's symbolic. But when it comes to the Privy Council, though, they actually have power. Because something that is decided within the Caribbean, they could decide not good enough for the Caribbean or too good for the Caribbean and overturn it. They can decide if you were a people that decided that, look, there are people that are killing children in our country, and we need to make an example. So we starting up the gallows again, and we're not saying that the CCJ is a hanging court. It's not a hanging court. Yeah? But we're saying that if the general perception and understanding within the region is that, yo, you're killing children in the island, and we're not going to allow this to happen, as in Jamaica, I think they have somewhere around 20-something children that have been killed for the year so far. And we hope nothing like that ever happens around our end of the woods. But you decide you're going to make an example. Once you send it to them, they're going to do it based on their standard, not on your Caribbean standard. They don't care how many children died down here and this kind of thing. That's not a consideration for them. Their consideration is what this person do, whether they do it in truth and this kind of thing. And they're looking at all different things and decide whether or not. And in no case would they send a person to be hung or executed because they have abolished the death penalty. Yeah, so in no case that goes there will you expect it to come back that they uphold the death penalty and so on. Yeah? And outside of that, these people at one point they want to get out, at next point they want to keep, and this kind of thing. You go to the UK and you meet with British MPs and them and they're telling you, well, we hope you all don't get rid of the Queen, we hope you all maintain the Majesty as your head of state. But yet still, how much funds do they give to the Caribbean? How much funds did they give for the rebuilding of our Parliament building? The seat of our government that was sitting there. We again have to thank the Republic of Mexico. And the United Arab Emirates. It was the United Arab Emirates. Yeah, that. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, United Arab Emirates, yes.
And Mexico.
And initially they had Australia, but they pulled out.
Yeah. Because the Australian government changed. So with all of that, and good morning to you, Alfred and Yolande and Mrs. Thomas. Pele, morning, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna call you Pele again. I'll just call you Nacimiento. You go understand that one perfect. Yeah, Nacimiento. Yeah. Hannah and Devon and all of you onto the live this morning. Let me just go onto the proper profile to view the live because I think I'm the one that had to see some things and not everything.
Not everything.
Yeah. Vaughn, you see, same thing I say. Vaughn, Louisa, all of you that are onto the live this morning. Yeah. I'm saying simply that the British government, yes, Prime Minister David Cameron came a few years ago and did offer some assistance for bridges and one or two other things, and that has been coming through. And so But when it comes to, you had the parliament building down, it took the Mexican. We've never been part of Mexico.
Never.
Yeah, we've never been part of Mexico. We've never been, well, at least I don't think so, no. I can't see we was ever part of Mexico. No way in history I could see that one. Right? We've never been part of the United Arab Emirates. But they are the ones that came to our assistance to help us reconstruct our seat of government. And then right next to it, you have the building that is a representation of Her Majesty, the Governor General's residence. But did Her Majesty give any money to the rebuilding?
Nothing.
Even the, let's say, even cleaning up the grounds.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
Just to maintain it,
So while we do have to have a head of state, the head of government is the Prime Minister. The head of state is Her Majesty, represented by our Governor General. And the Governor General has to be appointed by Her Majesty and that sort of thing. Well, look, Pele is asking about scholarships. You don't hear about any scholarships from Grenada going up to the UK. You don't hear about that. Yeah? The Grenadian government can't pay for scholarships to go to the UK, I can tell you that. Because the price that they're going to have to pay for one person to go to the UK, they could have given about 3 or 4 to go to the US, or they could have given about 10 to go locally. To go to SGU, or to even go next door to Trinidad or Barbados or Jamaica. Yeah? Because the cost is so high to live and stay and so on in the United Kingdom. So it's absolutely difficult. Yeah, it's absolutely difficult.
I mean,
so we can have the discussion, but at the end of the day, it's all just symbolic that you have these things in the name of the Queen. But the Queen has no power to do anything in relation to any of those things. Yeah, you think the Queen could decide she just dissolving the Grenada Parliament? Technically, it seems as though she can. But the Queen can't just decide that I don't like that government in Grenada and issue an order and say, dissolve that government down. She can't even do it in England, much less for Grenada. She can't even do it to England. She can't just dissolve the Parliament in England.
Kathy saying good morning.
Morning to you, Kathy. I've got a wonderful picture I'm going to post for you in a little while. I heard that they said this winter is going to be one of the coldest ever in the United States, Canada, and the Northern Hemisphere. They said this is going to be one of the worst winters.
Why are you joking Kathy and them this morning?
Kathy, hey, Kimron. Yeah, I heard that this is going to be one of the worst winters, bro. Yeah. Oh, boy. And hey, let me send out some birthday greetings immediately to Rashida Macphill. Rashida Macphill, and these greetings are coming from your dad, Richard Macphill, from your grandparents, Mr. Hudson, and oh boy, why does always forget, and Mrs. Maureen Macphill. Mommy, I saw a custom to calling you mommy. You know, it does be difficult to remember your proper name. You know, it's like you meet a little child on the road, carnival time, child get lost, you ask the child, where's your mother name, mommy? Where's your father name, daddy? So I saw a custom to referring to Mrs. Maureen Macphill as mom or mommy. If she call as soon as I answer the phone, yes, mom. You understand? So I saw a custom to referring to her like that. Now, you know, I just can't remember her name all the time. But it's Mrs. Maureen Macphill. So Mrs. Maureen Macphill, Mr. Hudson Macphill, Richard Macphill, Paula, the entire family circle, your brother, they're wishing you a very happy birthday today. And I know that they'll come together to ensure that you have one of the most beautiful birthdays that you've ever had. All right? Nice, beautiful. And Richie, morning to you as well, bro. Yeah. So when we're looking at the Caribbean Court of Justice and saying that, oh, well, we can't move to the Caribbean Court of Justice until we remove the Queen. The Queen already removed her. It's just symbolism that they're right now. But the Privy Council is a lot more than a symbol. They actually have power to affect our lives here in the Caribbean. The fact that Her Majesty's Prison is named Her Majesty's Prison, even if you change the name today, it doesn't change the fact of Her Majesty has no power to order anybody into or order anybody out of Her Majesty's Prison. That's the local court system here in Grenada that has the power to do that. She has no power over that. She has no power over our money. She cannot just decide that the EC dollar should be devalued. She can't just make that decision, or that she has to get a certain percentage out of every dollar because her face is on it. She can't decide that. She has absolutely no power over those things. Nope. Yeah? Yes, Kathy, thing I like. I won't send it for you. Just now I posted that picture.
And you know, one of the things that is so important there for us to understand, and one or two speakers made reference to it. The whole question of, look, we have already got, I mean, take control of the legislature, right? We already take control of the executive. Now we need to go at the judiciary, and that is where the control, I mean, in my view, will be much more independent when we take control, right, and make decisions legally for all of us, right? That is the important part. We only, I mean, just over halfway towards that. We need to get to the CCJ to complete that cycle. Very important for us to do as a people, right? We elect our prime minister and members of parliament, basically, right? So we have control of that. The judiciary, where the final decisions when it comes to legal matters for a country, where does that lie? It must, in my view, lies with us. No one else. The CCJ is the alternative for us.
And folks, you can chip in on the issue 440-7377. That's according to the right number.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you know there's an A, but you're writing the A and you still wonder if there's an A.
If there's a
There's one of those mornings with me. I call in all the number and I wonder. That's the number, by 440-7377.
347-329-3101.
And again, we had that wonderful activity night before. And believe me, if I was not in love with the Honorable Mia Amor Motley before, then my amor is even more for amor right now, because I am absolutely in love with this lady. I know what caught me with her? At the end of everything, you know, some prime ministers don't have the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell touch. So at the end of some activities, they'll just disappear.
Yep.
You see the pass in the back, and the security fling them in a vehicle. Before you even get a chance to see them, they just pass out the back, they're in a vehicle, and they're gone. Not Mia Amor Motley. The lady come down, and she come and she shaking. Everybody who wanted to meet her, got a chance to meet her, shake her hand. If you wanted a photo with her, you got a photo. I didn't take any photos. Now, I say next time I will take a photo. I will make sure I look a little more decent. I'll meet her again. Believe me, I know I'll meet her again. But and she's very down to earth. You see the kind of people that was winning all the seats. All right.
But significant that she made it clear from the beginning. She's home. Right? So if you're home, that means you have to be part of. So exactly.
She's from the Independent Republic of St. Paul's, according to according to Dr. Francis Alexis. Her grandmother hails from the Independent Republic of St. Paul's. Yes, indeed.
Oh,
yes.
But you know, she's a powerful, a dynamic speaker, and she basically laid out for us as a people. And having had the experience in Barbados, being already in the CCJ.
But not only that, being one of the people who were on the steering committee to found the CCJ in the first place. And remember, she used the example that she was unable to attend initiating the official launch of the CCJ because at that time, Glenderry Prison in Barbados, and I remember that clearly, you had this big fire at the prison. Some of the prisoners, I think, had started a fire at the prison. So they had this sort of mini state of emergency in that specific area. And so, and that being the area under her responsibility at the point in time, she saw it more important to be there. She said, Dr. Mitchell said always mind your business. You understand? So she did not leave Barbados at that point in time. But I think that she was very clear and articulate and even deeply intellectual in the statements that she made and the pronouncements that she made. And I'm not talking about the simple statements like time come, or it's time for it now, that sort of those statements and so. But the arguments that she put forward, the importance of the issue to regionalism. Yeah? And remember, she is the sitting prime minister of a country that has lost about the last 3 or 4 major cases that went to the Privy Council, you know. Her country didn't win. And that shows that there's no such thing as political influence when it comes to the CCJ. You have people that have this boogeyman in their mind. They have a boogeyman there. In Haiti, they would call it a tuntun makut. Down here, what we just call it down here? We doesn't say boogeyman. Like a zombie there.
What is that,
A zombie. Yeah, they have this sort of zombie in their mind that there is some sort of political influence. When the model, in fact, you know what should happen right now, in my humble view? The University of the West Indies, UWI, should take the approach of the Caribbean Court of Justice for how it is funded and how students are afforded the opportunity for scholarships and so. In the case of the Caribbean Court of Justice, each country within CARICOM would have given a specific sum of money, a couple millions of dollars. I can't remember the exact figure per country. And that money was invested, and the money coming out of that is being used for the operations and so on. And I think regional institutions such as the UWI and so on should follow a part of that model. And those monies can be used for things like scholarships and for some of the repairs and upgrades and updates, because especially when it comes to science and so on, regionally, and you're going to UWI and you're doing these subjects and so on, you do need to have upgrades. Whether it's on Mona campus or St. Augustine campus or Kville and so on, you do need upgrades. Technology is improving, and in every year it's improving and so on. And we need to keep up to date within the region when it comes to that. So I think that could be one of the means. The model that's being used. Other countries are looking to use that model because it creates independence. It creates independence of the people who are involved in it. So UWI don't have to send out a notice and say that, oh, we're not awarding the degrees to these people from this country because that country didn't pay up. Or we're not going to be taking X amount of people from there because they didn't pay up. But that, like with the Caribbean Court of Justice, we doesn't have to worry about, oh, well, Grenada ain't paying, so we're not doing any cases there. Grenada paid already. Everybody paid already, and they don't have to pay again. They paid already. And I think that's a proper way for them to go with that particular one.
I think it's somewhere over 100 million US dollars that was invested. And so and that's good. The model to finance the CCJ, I love it. I mean, we just have to understand how it was done and so on, get more used to it and realize that, look, how it was done, right? In my view, it is sealed, it is protected from interference from, who not supposed to interfere with it. And that is the kind of confidence the people of the Caribbean need. You understand? And so to go ahead with their business. But one of the things, Sheldon, I cannot understand with some of us here in our country, in Grenada, right? You know what? How we behave and get on? We like grown men and women who want to live in our mother's house up to the age of 40 and 45 and 50 years.
So I'll leave in mommy house.
You understand?
Where's I can get food like that?
Yeah, but
I do agree to staying in mommy house.
No, but the responsibility, see, and
mommy had to push me out.
Exactly, and that is what some of us is waiting for the British, the English people to do to us. Push us out when they don't want us no more. We can't afford to stay in our mother's house up to that age, and she wants you out, but it's because he's your son. If she's son or she's daughter, she finds it hard to push you out. No, we have to stand up and take responsibility for our destiny, right? We have our families to take control of. We can't stay in mommy house and want to direct our own family. No, right? We have to be independent. Get out from under our mother's dress and wings and so, and get on your own. Start to build your house. You understand? Start the pillars. That's the CCJ. That's one of the pillars for us. We need to do that. Otherwise, hey, we will continue being mommy's boys and girls for as long as we live. I sure it ain't want to do that.
Sometimes you want to come out of that level of security, but you want to be close to mommy.
Yeah, you
and
understand?
Then nobody can make a pea soup like mommy.
But you could always visit mommy and get that pea soup. Don't stay under mommy and hoping she cook it for you.
Nah, boy. By the time I reach, she go cold. I want it hot.
Well, you know what? As time changes, the conditions and changes.
The point you're making is very important. And while I'm joking and so, it's a very serious and important point that Devon is making. So that's how some people want to operate. They want to stay within that level of where they feel secure. Yeah. They're not allowed to bloom and develop and so on, but they feel secure. So they don't want to move out from there. They want to stay close. Yeah? They want to stay very close. If they cough twice, you see mommy pull out some Vicks and start to rub the chest and
Yeah,
all
that's
the
what they
nose
like.
hole and all kind of thing.
You know, but practical example, you have some big grown men and women right here in Grenada that does that. And that is the example that they're trying to set for others, especially our younger ones. We need to take control of what is ours. You understand? Mommy giving us a little thing to get out, but we're using time, we still going and coach on the mommy. Oh God, mommy, you know, that woman give me a problem or that man give me a problem, so I'm coming back home. And this and that. No, be firm, right? Continue. Look, we're not saying that this journey is an easy one, right? We're not saying that. But my God, if we don't make the effort, if we don't try and make ourselves, I mean, independent, I mean, who else will? Right? The CCJ is the way to go. It is the ultimate, I mean, destination for us. We have to take control. We have to break the chains. You want to stay under colonialism for the rest of your life?
Well, you know,
I mean, come on.
When you listen to the presentations, and I think Ruggles Ferguson was very, very, very. Ruggles, for me, you could have continued talking if you
for
needed
the
to
entire
talk.
night.
Yeah, because you were very clear and concise. Also, the responses of Workhouse, otherwise known as Dr. Francis Alexis.
Man.
You can't come.
Straightforward.
You can't come with stupidness in front of Doctor. Yeah, you, Mr. Mitland, the young fella. Yeah, yeah. You can't come with stupidness in front of Dr. Francis Alexis about morality.
Yeah.
When Dr. Francis Alexis finished with you, I wonder if it is still go. Well, we understand. Yeah, you're trying to build a little political future for yourself. No problem with that.
Take your time. Take your time.
No, we have no problem with that, man. Yeah, I mean, we are all Grenadians. You have the right to participate, just as I have the right, and anybody else has the right to participate. But at least make sensible statements.
And you know, Sheldon, what is amazing in all of this, you have to find someone who still want to continue to misinform the Grenadian people. I'll make an example, all right, of one, and so Miss Claudia Joseph. She made a statement there, Sheldon, and much people in my view didn't pay attention to it, right? When she said that, look, after the revolution, the demise of the revolution, Grenada did not return to the whole question of the whole court system, right? Primarily to try and to convict the 17, right? She made that statement. And so, but what she was trying to imply, right, based on a statement, and I'm quoting her, and so, is that these are the instances where you politicians get involved and make decisions, right? And so for when it comes to the court and everything like that. But that is so untrue, right? And so on. And she must not try to link that. What went on? It was, I mean, Grenada went back into constitutional thing in 1985.
Yes, it would have been
in February 1985.
February 1985.
Right, somewhere around there, right? But it did not return in terms of the whole court system, right? And who was responsible for that? I mean, who was the powers that be at that point in time to direct that? And so to continue to try these gentlemen under the old law, the revolutionary law. And so, I mean, and she, as a lawyer, she knows that, and she wants to blame, for example, the Grenadian politicians for doing that. But that was basically, in my view, an order or directives from, for example, the U.S. Government, because they were the ones basically running the whole question of the trial for the 17. And we know that, and that's another history. I don't want to, let's not go too deep into it. That's a discussion on its own, right? But she must not continue to link these things together to make people feel that, oh, that is what politicians do, and that is what they will do in terms of interfering with the court. You know, giving people that fear of not trusting, right, the independence of the CCJ. And so, you know, in my view, a low blow. And I'm not no legal mind, but I think you could see through, right, what persons like her is trying to do. And so she has to do better than that. Persons like her, as legal luminaries and so legal minds, they have to continue to educate people, right, of the pros and cons of the CCJ and stop being biased and political, right?
Yes, indeed. And folks, the phone lines are open 440-7377 and the overseas line
347-329-3101.
Yeah, and let's say good morning to the fence. When we say the fence,
Yes.
yeah, we know all you know. Here's, yeah, we know all you know what we're talking about. All right, good morning to the fence. Good morning to you, Miss Clighty. Hope you're having a fabulous day today. Hey, Neil, see you jumping day. Jennifer, good morning. I was in your neck of the woods yesterday, you know. Yeah, work-wise, but I didn't see you. Yeah, hey, Chenny, good morning to you as well, my brother. Devon, also, I wanted to clear up something because I got some messages this morning in relation to something. And you know something? I have a problem when people make an outright lie on me. And I really don't like to deal with personal matters and so, but I have a problem when people make an outright lie on me or a lie on hard talk. Yeah? Because we are known as a truthful and factual source of information.
Always.
This morning, we were accused of attacking an individual and his mother. And let me say this, from day one, we have always maintained, don't go after people's family. If I have to go after somebody, they've said certain things, I'll play it. Let the general public decide if that person is a person worthy of a position to represent them or not. If there are certain factual pieces of information, we'll let the general public know about the individual. There are lots of things I could say about some of my political opponents' family. I don't. I've never done it. It is not my style. Unlike them, who would, from unknown numbers, phone your family members in the middle of the night, and I'm talking about 10, 11 o'clock in the night, to ask questions about you. Yes, members of the National Democratic Congress have done that. Phone members of my family to ask all sorts of nonsensical questions in the middle of the night, or to make all sorts of accusations, or create fake Facebook profiles just to message you and attack you and then close the profile or block you, or message members of your family, or the members who meet your children, as they have done with my eldest son. When he's coming out from school, meet him outside the school gate and stop him asking him questions about his father. And don't feel I don't know who it is. I just waiting one day to see the person. I do not interfere with people's family. Yeah? So when the accusation is made this morning that myself and Devon sit down here and attacking an individual and his mother, listen, we said it before and we continue to say it again. The individual, in fact, they spend this whole week begging. The whole week. And the only reason we raise it as an issue, because I have no problem if you're raising funds to maintain your program. I personally have no problem with an individual raising funds by whatever means to maintain their program. I have no problems with that. Yeah? But you can't be doing that. Also trying to raise funds to maintain a specific type of lifestyle. You wouldn't go out and work otherwise. You try to maintain a specific lifestyle. And then look at the average New National Party supporter out there and say that they're begging. We don't like that.
And they're needy and greedy.
Yeah? Hey, Jenny, good morning to you, bro. You know we love you, eh?
All the time.
And you had to keep us updated to what's going on with the football, man.
Yes,
you had to keep us updated to what's going on with the football. I hearing good things, so
Yeah,
keep us in the loop.
Link us.
Nobody have a track record as you, eh? And
Yeah.
a good track record we're talking about as you when it comes to football right now. Nobody, right? Yeah, that's
Yes.
always my boy.
And
But yeah.
to members of the Netball Association, link us.
Oh, yeah, they've been
Give
doing
us
good for
information.
4 out of
Yes.
5 games.
Yes.
But yeah, we're saying we do not attack people's family.
That's a
It is-
no-no. Yeah.
It's a no-no because I don't like it when they come and they interfere with my children. I don't like it when they interfere with my children's mother or their grandmother or their aunt or their uncle or my aunt or my uncle. Or, well, you can't go wrong with brother and sister. Them is two kind of people. Cat, they can't go wrong Cat and Betty. Them is two kind of people. They go end up in a drain somehow face down. Them ain't making joke. Don't go wrong them and tell them nothing about their brother. They go floor all you. And I got to go and bail one of them. I know my brother and I know my sister. Same mother we come from. But at the end of the day, I will not attack another. And it's not the first time. If you're desperate and you're not making the money that you're making before and you need a scapegoat, don't use us.
At all.
We were not the ones talking about the church in the rear end, this one and that kind of thing. We were not the ones that attacked the teachers, that attacked the trade unions, that attacked the entire religious conference, that attacked every single person in Grenada. We were not the ones that attacked them, because by attacking them, you didn't realize that when you attack a church, that it had church members listening. That when you say things about certain people, that they're relatives who may have been giving money towards your upkeep were listening. But you're coming and try and blame us. And then making all kind of accusations. I can tell you one thing. No kind of accusation you make this morning could be in relation to me.
Neither me.
None.
And I'm
that you make
bold
this
to
morning.
say that. Yeah.
I could talk about certain people who went to the UK and went on a degree program, and they had to be sent back because one of the people wasn't behaving themselves in a manner that was suitable. Yeah, and I could go into details too, you know. I can go into details in relation to it too, about what the behavior was that caused them to be shipped back from the UK and never completing the degree. But there is nothing. Most they could say is what? Well, they can't make up their mind. 1 minute they want to say I'm gay, next minute I like too much woman. 1 minute is a millionaire, next minute I brokes. They can't make a story and stick to it. But one thing I sure is that, as the Honorable Prime Minister of Barbados says, the Honorable Mia Motley, Grenadians know me. They know me. Yeah, they know me very well. Although some of them think they know me. They know of me. But Grenadians know me. So when you make your accusations, and in fact, Devon, I think it's a point in time for the lawyers to get a little busy with this one.
Oh, definitely.
Because the accusations that were made, and I don't understand. They're referring to us, and they're making certain accusations
and to link us with that.
To link us with that. And in the minds of the listeners, you have linked us to some criminal activities.
Criminal activities, you understand? And you see, look, and what I will say to that and put that to rest, gentlemen, there are people out there, and I mean, sometimes I have to give you advice. There are people out there who want to see your demise. I'm not one of them, right? I will not come on any radio station and attack your family, your mother.
But I don't even want the individual to come off radio, because in my mind, I see the individual as one of the best things for my political party, because they're running everybody from theirs.
Exactly.
They are one of the reasons that their party received the shellacking that it received at the polls the last time around. The party might have a chance if they didn't have such a mouthpiece representing them. They are one of the reasons that he received the shellacking that his party received. Yeah? Now they're trying to make themselves the savior of the party. They're the reason the party, one of the main reasons. Them, the one who used to be on the Sunday, and a few others. They are the reasons that happened to the party. Yeah? And if the party does the proper introspection, they realize that. So I don't want them go anyway. I want you to help fund their program. I want you to give to them. If I could find a roundabout means to give to them, I give it to them. Yeah. I don't mind. I don't want them go no way. I want them stay right there.
But you have to stop letting, well, I mean, I understand a grown man like you letting other people convince you that things are said about you. You have to find out that information for yourself.
We do not hide. Let's let you know this, huh? 1, Hard Talk is broadcast on 4 radio stations. 97.5, 89.5, 92.9 in Carriacou, 94.9 in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah.
It's broadcast on those stations. It is rebroadcast at 8 p.m. on 89.5. So if you miss it during the day, you have the opportunity to listen it again at 8 p.m. at night. It is rebroadcast at 10 p.m. in Brooklyn via Noise Radio. It is rebroadcast at 3 a.m. via 89.5. So if you miss it all over and you're one of the early morning people get up to do something, you could hear it again at that time. Outside of that, the program is stored on YouTube. So the individual who is making the accusation can go there and they could listen from last year to this year to hear if we have made that statement. Also, it is on Facebook. So that any point in the day, 5 minutes after we finish the program, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Facebook, and you can click and listen over everything that was said. So there's no excuse for anybody to make an accusation of this was said and that was said. And it's not true. There's no excuse because it's there.
Revisit back.
It's there.
Go listen to it.
So anyway, that's enough on that one.
I don't want to.
Yeah, that's enough for that one. You understand? Like, give them a piece of a tune, man. Yeah. We could give them a piece of one. Now, let me see. Wait, now let's change up my settings here, man. Nice.
Mommy, as a calypsonian, the true voice of the people, to lead you on the right path, I'm responsible. The decisions you make not only decides your fate, but is an entire country. It could make or break. The Lord power been vested in you from the day that you were born. We are king and queens, we have control, not to be used as any pawn. That God-given gift so we can know what is right from what is wrong. And in everything that we do, always in for positive outcome. Look before you lead, cause what you sow you reap.
Exactly.
Look before you end up in a big heap of look before you leave.
Yes, indeed. 4407377. We done on that one.
347-329-3101.
Wrong in the deep. What I'm trying to tell you, don't jump unless you're sure about it. Don't jump. Don't act like you're mad. Don't jump. It might be today.
So good morning to each and every one of you on the live again. Yeah. Remember to like and share the live. All of a sudden they stop talk about NIS and all kind of thing. They jump out. Oh, NIS is going to fail.
And school books.
Listen, when it comes to the national insurance scheme, they were jumping up and down like, you know, when somebody get in the spirit. I don't know if you went to the spiritual Baptist church. You ever see a person when they really get in the spirit, boy? When that spirit come and he hold you and he decide to go in and spin you and dip you and pull you up, you're on your toe and all kind of thing and you spin and you carry. Yeah, they was up and down about the NIS going and fail and the NIS and problems. That's not the first time that you had a situation that the NIS has brought in less money than it paid out. That has happened in the past before. But the NIS is insulated from that due to the resources that it has. And we're not talking about the resources being the payments that are made into the NIS. If that was so, the NIS would end up in a situation as Greece or one of those, it would have crashed. Because it would not have been able to sustain it just with the income coming in from people who are working. The NIS has investments. Yeah, so they have treasury bills, they have bonds, they have property, they have investments in various countries and so on. They've invested the money and the interests and payments and so that are coming back from that. All of that helps maintain the financial health of the national insurance scheme. Yeah? So if they give a loan, be it to government or be it to some other agency that's doing something or so, the interest, the loan is being repaid and the interest and so off of that helps offset any period when you might have something like that happening. And the only reason it happened that way this time around, for the first part of this year, is simply because the NIS had more pensioners coming to the system, some 500, and that's not a normal thing that happens. Within a period, you have 500 and something people retiring and coming into the system. But that is what happened. And as such, that created a situation where you had more pension payments because pension payments made up over 30%. No, not 30%, even more than that. More than 30%. Out of the 40-something million. 30 million, so it's not 40%.
33 or something like million.
Yeah, nearly a 2/3 or so.
Yeah.
The entire 40 million that was spent, 42 million. 30-something million was pension payments.
And you know that would increase as the years and months, the months and years go forward, Sheldon, because when you look at the inception of the NIS, right, in 1983, those who begun in the NIS from around that time, you know, most of them are now retiring, going on
Mhm.
pension. So you will have that number increasing as the next couple of years go by.
But again, it means that
No?
that discussion has to take place as to the pensionable age.
Yep,
Yeah, the pensionable
you
age,
have to.
and not lowering of the pensionable age. That will crash. That will crash the NIS. If you lower the pensionable age, so somebody at the age of 40, 45, as happens in some countries, can take early retirement, or for instance, a person who is working within the government service that happens to have spent the 26 and a third, and decides that they're going to retire, but they entered the service at the age of 18, 19 or somewhere there. So you realize that they're retiring in the late 30s, early 20s.
Yeah.
You're going to, no, it would be their 40s, yeah.
40s, early
Retiring in
50s,
their
yeah.
40s. You're going to end up in a situation that a person who could have been contributing back to the fund for a further 20 years is now out of it
And taking
and
out of the
taking
fund.
out of it. And we're saying that that is a bad formula. Yeah. Also saying that, probably there are people who are at age 60 that can still make a contribution, that can still work, that are still willing to work, that are still willing to make a contribution. And therefore, the pensionable age, in my view, should be raised. And I think that the actuarial reviews did show that. That has been discussed. I know that there are other discussions taking place in other quarters about that. And not only here in Grenada, but throughout the Caribbean, that issue of changing the age. Some people are actually speaking about, some countries, not Grenada, but some countries are actually speaking about making the age retirement 70.
70, 69, 70. But you know,
Yeah.
Sheldon, that discussion here in Grenada is not just come about like with this government, During NDC time, and so that discussion came about too, in terms of raising the pension, age, and so it's something that as Grenadians we have to be very mindful of, right, to get into that discussion, right? Otherwise, later down, our young persons will be the ones that be paying the blunt of it.
Yeah, that's what you're going
Understand?
to end up with. You're going to end up with all the younger people now who are making up the majority of the workforce, end up paying into a system, into a scheme that by the time they get old, the scheme collapse.
Yeah, yeah.
And they have nothing to get.
Nothing to get.
So that's why you must maintain the integrity of it. So it's not the first time. It has happened before. I'm positive if you look over the books, it has happened before. That you'd have a period, you'd have a month that you receive
more expenses
less than you paid.
income, yeah.
You'll have that. That happens with
But
nearly every business.
But that's business.
But that's how.
Yeah.
But that's why you have investments that you insulate. And if they were so sure that, for instance, what did the NDC do? They gave them property. All right, that's property. What the NIS do? The property develop them. What they do with the properties and them still there, just
Still
like
there.
that. The place on Scott
A
Street,
lot of them dilapidated.
the Hotel California.
Yeah.
These watch at them. The places and them still there, dilapidated.
The old electoral
thing.
office.
Are those places giving back money now? If somebody comes and they want to purchase it, or the NIS decides they want to do a development there, then it would give back money. But they say, okay, we give wood to the NIS, we give property. But is the property, are they getting interest on the property?
Nothing.
They got the shares from the Grenada Bottling Company. Yeah, they'll get a little bit of interest off of that. The not Grenada Bottling Company. Sorry, Mr. Taylor and friends. Yeah, the Grenada Breeze. Not Coca-Cola. No, not Coca-Cola. The beer. Yeah.
Yes.
Don't wait, just get a Stag and the Caribbean, them kind of thing. Yeah, right. Yeah. So they got the shares. NIS ended up with shares from there. NIS ended up with shares from Cable and Wireless. Yeah. They ended up with shares from. They were supposed to end up with shares for Grenlec.
They could have ended up with Grenlec.
But we all know what took place there with the kind of...
Desperation is a hell of a thing,
Yeah.
When you're desperate, you do a lot of foolish things, eh?
And the NIS actually had to issue a release to clear this thing up. And that's why you have to be careful with your sources of information and how some people who understand nothing about what they're talking about like to open their mouth and blah, blah. They understand nothing about the operation of the NIS, but they just they just want to jump out.
Forced to
and
do
talk.
that and forced to do that.
Yeah.
Forced to bring out factual information, fine. Nobody
no problem with that.
no problem with that. But when you keep putting your foot in your mouth,
Because look at how the entire thing ended up. The NIS gave millions of dollars to the NDC government for shares in Grenlec and could not get the shares from Grenlec. And instead, those shares had to be transferred under the NNP administration now, because the law says, and the agreement, not the law, but the agreement says that before you sell any shares in Grenlec, whether it's WRB would have to offer those shares first to the government of Grenada. They cannot sell the shares to anybody else. They have to say, government of Grenada, we are looking to sell these shares, but you have first dibs. So they offer it to the government of Grenada. And if the government of Grenada wants to sell its shares, whether to the NIS, which is a statutory body, and they may say, well, okay, NIS is part of government. No, it's not. It's a statutory body. It is connected, but it's a statutory body. So even if you have to transfer the shares to NIS, you still have to go to WRB, because the original owner and controller are not the original owner and controller. So they went and they say, well, we're giving all of the Grenlec shares, they get the money. NIS send over the money to them, blam, bing, dang, ding, dang. They had the money there. And we end up with a situation where the NIS couldn't get back the shares. So they couldn't get the shares. They couldn't get back the how much $1 million. It's the NNP that had to save the situation and decide, well, look, the same bonds and the same treasury bills you all didn't want to hold under the NDC, we have no choice. It's that you'll have to hold for the Grenlec shares. And the NIS has stated clearly, because they can't put out this thing and lie, they have to publish the documents. And so the people out there who say, oh, the NIS lie. The government is up to date with its payments for both the NNP and NDC administrations. Yes, because we're still paying back for things that the NDC took from the NIS. This administration, this new National Party administration.
And there was no investments. They didn't take it to invest, eh? They take it to cover the expenditure,
well, not
salaries.
Not only the take that they take, but outside of the take that they take, they took the payments under the NDC administration. When a civil servant received a salary, they saw NIS payment deducted. So they got the salary with the NIS payment deducted. So it was deducted from the civil servants.
4%.
But it was not paid to the NIS. So in other words, the money stayed in the treasury. It never went across to the NIS until when the new National Party came in and decided, no, we cannot have a situation like that. That is unfair to the NIS and it is unfair to the workers. And decided that they would pay not only the present payments that had to be made, but also the payments for the period that the NDC administration, with their Minister of Finance, Nazim Burke, did not pay. And these people telling you thing now.
Let me ask you that. The entire 9% that they wasn't paying to NIS, or just the 4% that was deducted? Because, you know, government has to pay.
Wasn't paying anything.
So they wasn't paying. So the entire 9%
that wasn't being paid. The payment that was supposed to be going across was not going across. It was not going to the NIS. The NIS received no payments. Yeah, they received no payments. So when I want to talk about NIS, I'm willing and able to have that discussion any day. We can have that discussion. It is the NNP is the only administration under the Right Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell that paid off everything that was owed to the NIS. Zero the debt to the NIS before. But they wouldn't tell you that.
No, that is
See,
you see, that's
government,
facts, eh?
government dipping into the NIS and all kind of thing. As the NIS, if the governments are up to date, it's not like the government going to the NIS and say, give us $30 million. Then they take that $30 million and they do what they want with it. They have fed lime and all kind of thing, and then come back and say, give us another 40 million. If government takes $30 million from the National Insurance Scheme, it has to pay it back over a period of time, whether in treasury bills or bonds or whatever. It has to pay back. And when it pays back with interest. So they might take 30 and end up paying 40. Yeah. But they have to pay back. Yeah? It is a source where you can readily receive money if you have an emergency, or if you have something else that you need to do, or you have a developmental project you want to do. You can access the money at the NIS, because the NIS has money that they don't want sitting down there. They want their money out there earning interest. They want their money making money, because that is how they are buffering for the periods when they might end up, as happened earlier this year, when they have a situation they receive less payments than they paid out. Yeah? Simple as that. I think something wrong with the phone lines today. Somebody call and let me check the phone line, because I have a feeling that something is wrong with the phone line today. In fact, let me test it out and see. Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. Test it out and see. Yeah, let me bring everybody before this run. No, it seems to be working. Let me see now. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Morning, sir.
And how do you do?
Hey, I'm quite fine.
Morning to your co-host. I'm hearing you very, very lightly.
Yeah, that's why I say something is not right with the phone this morning, but go right ahead.
Right. Now you're on the... Yes, morning. Hello?
No, ignore the radio. Caller, ignore the radio and go right ahead.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm hearing you now.
No, I have to put back down the phone because it's going to have a echo, but you go right ahead.
Okay. Now you're on the NIS.
Mm-hmm.
I would like a feedback on our last conversation.
I'm trying to remember what that conversation was
I
on.
would like a feedback on our last
You have to remind me. I speak to lots of people every day.
conversation on the NIS.
Listen to the radio still.
What is the status of the pension, the pension for the pensioners?
I wouldn't be able
as
to...
it relates to the percentage
Mhm.
increase for pensioners.
I would not
Did
be
you
able to speak on that.
have any update on that?
I would not be able to speak on that unless the NIS releases something on that, because I'm not on the board of directors or anything there. So you have to wait until the NIS releases information on it, which they have not released yet. I believe that they have an accrual.
That is a so.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're talking about CCJ. Those are all the concerns that citizens have as it relates to the CCG, as it relates to the injustices that is done to us. Now, if these injustices are done unsolved, why are you asking the same citizens to contribute to the establishment of the CCJ? I think justice have to be done to me before.
Well, let me ask you that.
Asked to do that.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What is the injustice that is being done concerning the NIS to the citizens?
Because you see, the actuaries over the years have recommended increases to the pensioners.
Who recommended increases?
The actuaries have, in the report, recommended increases for the pensioners over the years. That is well established.
Over the years as, what, 10, 15, 20 years?
Increase to the pensioners' pension.
Mm.
But it was not definitive in terms of the percentage. Recommendation was made as to the increase of the pensioners, to the pensioners. But it was not definitive. But barring that, even though it's not definitive, but it's recommended, why was it not honored over the years?
Well, it could be a number of reasons.
And that's the question that is asked by many of our pensioners over the years, that if the actuary recommended an increase, not definitive for the pensioners, why is not respected and paid? But at the same time, you continue to ask for these very citizens to contribute to better laws as it leads to justice.
But
now, if these injustices, I call it an injustice, if these injustices are done and it could be solved, why is not solved before you ask us to contribute towards justice for us?
Well, let me tell you that. Yeah? You're trying to link both of them. I don't think that's the right thing to do. But however, though, let's stay on the NIS. You said that it was recommended.
By the actuaries.
Right.
In the report.
Okay, right. So it's a recommendation.
Yes.
Okay. Now, for that to be implemented, the conditions has to be right with NIS, right? In terms of raising percentage or anything like that. And if NIS, as a in my view, a business or so an insurance, I mean, if it cannot at the point in time meet that what was recommended, I mean, what else you want them to do? You want that recommendation to go ahead, they increase on it, and then 5-10 years from now the whole insurance scheme just fall down? It has to be. Hold on. You had your time.
Volume.
Hold on, you had your time, right? What I'm saying, it was a recommendation, and the condition has to be right.
Yes.
Right? So in my view, the conditions is not right, and so how can it be done?
Now, if the condition is not right, when would the condition be right? Because it's not now. This is about 4 actuaries, 4 reports of the actuaries over the years. And when would the condition be right? Now, the actuaries are looking at the books in the reporting. And if they look at the books and the status of the fund and they make a recommendation for an increase, it is because they know that the NIS would do what is right to choose a percentage, 1, 2, or 3%, to be implemented. They know that. But that is not adhered to.
What I can say is this.
Saying. So when would it be right for the NIS to do the right thing? Now you said about the fund. If the fund is not in a position to, yes, we know that might not be able to pay.
But let me just say this, Doa, and we have to be careful because you may hear me making the statement that yes, okay, they would lend, let's say they lend $10 million to government and they are paid it back with interest and so on. Remember, if they increase the payments to a specific level, I'm saying it has, all of us would agree that it has to be increased, isn't it? We'd all agree that it has to be increased. It must be and should be increased. It's only fair that it is increased. But remember, if they're going to that particular aspect of it and you're spending an additional $10 million a month, it's not $10 million that you're making back. There's no interest or anything coming out on that, and it's not being returned. It is gone. That's it for that. And considering the increase in the number of pensionable people, 500 and something for the first part of this year already. Who knows how? Hold on. Yeah. Who knows how many more since then have become pensionable or will become pensionable by the end of the year? Already over 9,000. We may be over 10,000 by the end of the year or next year that are receiving pensions. So there are various aspects that have to be looked at. But at the same token, take a look at what just happened with Petrotrin in Trinidad, where you have 1,700 permanent workers and close to 8,000 other workers that are going home. And part of that, you have an electrician. Now, we mentioned this the last time. You have an electrician that's working there and is going home with $20,000 at the end of the month. That's 8,000 plus EC. That person is going middle-level staff that are making 3 or 4 times the salary of the Grenadian Prime Minister at Petrotrin. And these are through agreements and recommendations and suggestions that were made by the unions over the years. And then the unions just decide, well, look, we're striking. If we don't get this 5% or we don't get this 3% or 2%, we're striking. And then they force the hand of the company has to do it. And look at the situation you end up in now.
I follow in that. I am following the Petrotrin for a lot of years. And would you agree that in the news, as it said, that Petrotrin management were not reporting the true, was not reflecting the true amount of oil which it was bringing up?
That would be impossible.
Information from the
My brother,
making the government believe that they were not actualizing certain amount, and in truth and in fact, they were pocketing the money.
That's nonsense.
It came up.
That's nonsense.
It is in a report now.
That's nonsense. I'm telling you, it's impossible. It's impossible to hide
those sort of things. It is in a report that was not reporting what they was getting. They were shortchanging the government, and so the government was having a shortfall in the revenue. That's why they get to that point. It is uncovered now
I don't
that
believe
they were not reflecting the true amount they were getting. Right? So I'm saying to you here, if you say that the NIS might not be not in a position to, let me show you in a technical way. We, as contributors of the NIS fund, the fund has grown. The fund has grown and have the money. Because when I speak to the directors, they are telling me, the directors, not one, they are telling me that they are willing to do what the actuaries say, but the governments are not releasing the information, releasing the document for them to do so. So bearing that in mind, if we are that the old people are the foundation of the young people. If you continue to deny the old people because they're old, they're not too old, they're still contributing economically to the survival of the young people. If you get them, you kill them. That's why they die, because you don't want to pay them. They die. What do you think will happen to the young people? The foundation is ruined and lost forever. So you have to focus on the interest of the elderly people who are holding the foundation of the youth that we love so much. And the longer you take that, the longer you take to
my
do
brother,
that, so
my brother, I think
the worst of this country will be. I'm not talking politics here.
No, but I think you're misunderstanding. I think you're misunderstanding something here.
It should not be done, and it has to be honored and honored quickly, because you are ruining the foundation of the young people.
Unless you have
the pensioners that just you.
Unless you have the financial reports in your hand.
No.
I'm not saying it has to be done. I would listen to the difference here. I would like it to have been done 2-3 years ago. I would like it to have been done 10 years ago. But the reality is, it may not be able to be done like that, so that the company may not be able to absorb that shock in one go of doing that.
You just say that the past Minister of Finance did not pay the NIS, even the government side or the contributor side. You just said that,
Yeah.
So they robbed the NIS over the years, and that is reflecting
Hey, let me make sure
which
government, the NDC government.
That is also preventing the NIS from doing what they're supposed to do. So if everybody's going to do that to the NIS, would the NIS ever be in a position to help the people who set up the scheme? This have to end somewhere. We have to be civil. We have to have empathy for the elderly people. We must do that. Other than that, this place is going to crumble because the youth will not be able to cope with the problem that will be left behind. We must address the increase of the pensioners. It's going to help the nation. It's not going to do any harm to the nation. It's going to help the nation. The longer you hold on to this, because the NIS might not be in a position to, is the worse off the economic situation will be, because you're putting the elderly pressure under too much pressure to deal with the youth.
All right.
We have to do that.
Okay, caller.
Have a great day, sir.
Thank you. Now, we have made our case very clear in relation to this. No one is saying deny the elderly. And I just want to make that very clear. Nobody who's listening to this program now and could listen to it again later could say that we're saying deny the elderly. We're saying that they are deserving and they need it. Yeah? But we're saying at the same token, you cannot run into it just because somebody made a recommendation and says yet. Nobody didn't have to make a recommendation to find that the NIS is paying too little bit to the elderly. Yeah. Nobody had to even give a recommendation for it. We didn't know actuarial report to say that. Everyone would understand the NIS is not paying enough to the elderly and even in benefits, some other benefits and so on. The percentage benefits and so you receive is not sufficient. We can all agree on that.
Yeah, I don't like to say the elderly, pensioners.
Pensioners.
Yes.
But at the same token, you cannot just say, okay, the actuarial report say do it, and you run into it.
Yeah, it's a recommendation.
Because you're going to end up in the same situation that Petrotrin just end up in. Because, today, Independence Day in Trinidad, a lot of people that ain't smiling,
Yeah, they ain't independent at all today.
Because outside of the 1,700 who work directly with it, and in total another 5,000, so you're going closer to 5,000 plus, so you're going somewhere close to 8,000 people that as of tomorrow ain't employed again. These are people that are loan in the bank. These are people that have mortgage on the house. These are people that have vehicle loan and children going to school on Monday. And you know why? Because number one, bad management, bad financial management. Number two, although they're trying to take themselves out there, the unions have to take some blame.
A lot blame.
The government there has, I could say that, the government there has to take some blame, and the unions have to take some blame too. They have to take some blame. Because they would have a representative on the board of directors that knows what the financial status of the company. They know that the company owed billions of dollars and owing interest and so to government and other payments and so. They know all of this was taking place. And was still arguing to raise salaries more and more and more and more for a facility that you had 1,700 people permanently employed with, that you only needed 300 to run. Do the research. A facility like that, you only need roughly about 300 people. Maximum 500 people to run. They had 1,700 people working there, and you know what's part of the problem? Governments, over the period of time, come and say, well, my son come back with a degree. I think he need a job inside there. Some activists or some body high up in the PNM or the UNC or the NAR, and so come and say, well, we have a son and he need to get a job. And you send him to work there. And then every time they get increase, he get increase. But you really don't have a role to play. He just working there. He show up once a week. He come in the office, he clock in and then disappear. You understand? I could tell you that is what was going on there. I'm not saying that is what's going on with the NIS. The NIS is a professionally run organization. But I'm saying if we just deal with demands and not reality, that's a difference between demands and wants and reality. if you just deal with demands and you don't deal with reality, the little bit you might be getting now, you end up with nothing at all because the whole thing will collapse. The whole thing could collapse if you do not deal with reality. Then you could do like Chicken Little and them and run about and say the sky is falling. Yeah? So we have to deal with reality. But anyway, we have 1 or 2 announcements to make before we run out of time.
The Tongue of St. George fundraiser. The members of the Tongue of St. George constituency branch is having their fundraising events today, Friday. Yes, right? From 4:30 p.m. right at the parliamentary office there in River Road. Right? Come and eat mannish waters, you have split pea soup, pig foot sauce, they have an ice cold bar. And better yet, 3 for 12, all beers. Right? So come out and support. It's today, Friday, the 31st of August, the last day, time 4:30 p.m. Right? The venue, Parliamentary Office in River Road. Don't miss that. Come out and support Honorable Peter David and the constituency branch.
Yes, indeed. And folks, remember, it's going to be starting in about roughly an hour or so from now. It's the constituency fundraiser in St. David. Yeah, that's going to be taking place at the constituency office down there in La Sagesse, right by the little concrete strip there. Nice. We'll call that area St. David Concrete Strip. Yeah. So concrete strip St. David, nice, right. So today, they're having that fundraiser. So busmen, all of you that passing along that route, you can check them out. Lambie Waters, Big Sun Fish Cake, Fried Jacks, Bigfoot Sauce, Barbecue Pork, Barbecue Chicken. Yeah, you could give them a little checkout and that kind of thing. So make a little pass by and so on, right?
You have
so
a special on the Lambie Waters, eh? A special. The special is tasting real good. Yeah. Not price. Special is that tasting real good.
Yeah, the world famous Felix Lambie Waters. It could help the living, the sick and the afflicted.
Well, not the dead.
Can't help the dead. Carries the dead. If it's dead, it's dead.
Yeah, he dead. You have to call Laquan.
Could help the afflicted. I always remember that one from Prime Minister Bird out of Antigua. A good few years ago, he came to play a cricket match and he brought some hot pepper. So he was given the hot pepper and he said, this hot pepper, I think it was Barron's or something. He said, this hot pepper, it could help the living, but it can't raise the dead. Yes, indeed, folks. 4407377. That's 4407377. Remember, the 6th of November, we are going to be going to the referendum on the CCJ. Ensure, because the meetings are going to be picking up tempo over the next week. I know they're heading to St. Andrew during next week. You're going to be hearing various radio and television programs this morning. Ruggles Ferguson was on with BBB, the beautiful Brenda Batiste, on GBN. And you're going to be hearing from all of the radio stations that bring Hard Talk and other stations. And so, Wade, I'm organizing something with you. They should be contacting you as well, so that on your Saturday morning program as well, you could have a few minutes to ask whatever questions of different members of the committee in relation to the CCJ. All right, so you all will be able to have your say and an opportunity to cast your ballot in relation to the Caribbean Court of Justice becoming the final court of appeal for the state of Grenada, as it is presently our final appellate court. So you go through the local courts, you go through the High Court and the OECS courts, and so on. You're looking to you still believe that you have a chance to win the case? Yeah. And this kind of thing about, it's a lawyer thing. If it's a lawyer thing, no, but seriously, they don't have a right to stop. If it's a lawyer thing, the lawyers wouldn't want the Caribbean Court of Justice, because they could make much more money off of you having to go to the CCJ, to the Privy Council. Yeah, because then you had to buy a ticket for them to go in England, and you had to provide housing and all kind of things. I see a man stand up in the conference and talking about, it only costs $2,500. He's talking about when you're filing the case. He ain't talking about the legal representation and the flight. Your flights alone is $4,000.
And I was wondering if he was talking about somebody who lives in Grenada or who lives in the US or something like that.
The UK?
In the UK. I mean,
because the flight alone you're talking, according to the time of year, you could pay as much as $4,000 for a flight to go to the UK. As much as $4,000 for a flight to go to the UK. And outside of that, housing in the UK is not cheap. It's expensive. That's why we were saying earlier, scholarships to the UK. It's cheaper for a government to send somebody to the United States or regionally, or stay here in Grenada and go SGU, than to be sending people to the UK. That's why you don't hear the government of Grenada sending people on scholarships over to the UK. Yeah, it's too expensive.
And they don't offer scholarships to us.
Yeah, that money could be used otherwise. And again, say it again,
Yeah,
Devon.
they don't offer scholarship to us.
Yeah.
We have to beg, and we still don't get.
Yeah.
So what's the sense?
So with all of that, we have to be extremely prudent in how you're using scholarship funds. Yeah, the money that you have set aside for further education and that sort of thing. You have a lot of public servants who have benefited from it, a lot of other people that have benefited from it and so on, who have their doctorates and so on. They've done it regionally, or they've done it in the US, or the government of Cuba, a government that they ain't the richest, they ain't even close to rich. But still, they're training loads of medical professionals to come back to Grenada on a yearly basis. Yeah.
Hundreds in Grenada's case over the years.
Yeah.
And so, but thousands of them
around the world.
And around the world, the African countries and so.
Latin America, the Caribbean, African continent.
And that is a country, a third world country as they call them, just like us.
Say it in Spanish. Can't remember how to say that one in Spanish, but
can't remember
if you
one.
ask him, he go respond. But you can't remember how to start it.
I can't remember
Anyway,
to say it.
Yesterday, the fogging crew was up there in St. Patrick. Today, they should be in St. John and St. Mark. So, all in Devon neck of the woods today, St. Mark, and my neck of the woods, St. John.
Right, and make sure that you handle it here around the special ed and all them things. So, they're looking forward to that.
They're going and fog up the place.
Handle business and know all your professionals. Yeah, because this crew over the years, Sheldon, have been, really doing much more, right, to ensure that they keep down the whole question of rodents and mosquitoes and so, right. They have been doing a very good job, and we must continue to compliment them. Must continue.
Yeah.
All right.
I know some of the elderly people are still smiling.
Yeah.
From last month, they're smiling still. Because they get a little, but some folks have gotten a little aspect of it wrong. It's $100 increase per household, and not individual, because you may have two elderly people in one home, and one received, the next one ain't receive, and the one there in why. But it is an increase per the household. So if the two elderly are living together, husband and wife, both of them are receiving the assistance, then it is $100 per the household, and not $100 per individual. So it's not an additional $200 for the home. It's an additional $100 for the household, right? So I think some people got it mixed up, because you've heard from some people, well, oh, my husband get, but I ain't get, or my wife get, and I ain't get, and that sort of thing. But that is how it is being done. If it's a situation you're still receiving the initial one, you need to contact them and let them know that they haven't updated for you yet. Yeah? And I think also some individuals thought that it was for like the families under the seed and that kind of thing. No, I don't think that they qualified. I think it was specifically for the elderly. Yeah? So they received that, because sometimes we say, well, people don't receive a pension. You have that they receive, and you also have the one that they receive under the NIS. And yes, we do agree. And you even heard government made that statement that yes, the NIS needs to step up and pay a little more and that sort of thing. But there's a process. You can't just decide that you're going to jump into it, because it's finances. It's a fragile thing.
And that is why the NIS, has been going for so long, since 1983, because prudent management, ensuring that the finances of the people is well taken care of. We don't want to just, recommend certain things and then just jump and do it. It has to be managed carefully, not just for the next 5 years, but for the next 50 or 60 years ahead. Remember, right, our future, the young people have to benefit from the NIS also. Right, so let's not crash it now and they have nothing to get.
Let me also say here to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, you have your consultation. The budget consultation is taking place in Carriacou, especially with the youth and so on as well. So that consultation is being held at 5 p.m. at the Hillsborough Community Center. So those of you in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, if you can make the time this evening, all right, you can head on out there at 5 p.m. The staff from the Ministry of Finance will be there, and you can have a discussion that this year's youth consultation will focus heavily on youth unemployment, creating opportunities for young people in small business development, agriculture, and education, among other youth-inspired areas. You see, one of the things, especially on the island of Carriacou, limited opportunities for youth, limited employment opportunities. And what tends to happen, you have a lot of young people who would have been in Carriacou, and you know them in Carriacou. All of a sudden, you hear them in the UK, and you hear them in the US, and you hear them in Canada. They head out because of limited opportunities. And it's not that government didn't create opportunities or businesses didn't create opportunities. It's just the nature of the island. When you look at the population of the island and the number of businesses on the island, it creates limited opportunities for employment. And a lot of them even start living in Grenada. Even from Petit Martinique, decide that they're coming down and they start to live in Grenada and they look for opportunities down here instead. Yeah. But
and again, the economy of as you say, Carriacou and Petit Martinique is, as you said, slightly different to what goes on here. And so there are not much things that you can.
Petit Martinique, the males are deep into the fishing industry, so the tuna boats and this kind of thing. But then if you go to Petit Martinique and you seriously look and you say, well, what other businesses can open? You have to look at the size of the population, the needs of the population. Petit Martinique people don't ask people for nothing and beg. It's not kind of people that you go see running down in the shop every 2 minutes and so, There's a different mentality and different sort of economy. How the people of Petit Martinique operate is now.
And we can learn a thing or two from them too, in terms of how you
even from the people at Carriacou. There's a lot that we can learn in relation to how you, as a family, how you manage economically
resources
and so on, And we're not talking just about they really need no asa. We ain't talking about that alone, but several other aspects of how they operate in those areas and so. But there have been discussions in relation to the boat building, because a lot of people still after the traditionally built vessels and so. So there have been some discussions in relation to boat building and other startup enterprises that can take place in Carriacou and provide employment for young persons. I think one of the problems we've been having is that a lot of people, you leave the school system and you're looking for a job instead of creating jobs for you, your family, and other people, and not necessarily just young people, but for everybody. You may create a company and have other people working for you. You might have your mom and different people working there for you and different things.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you can create employment for other people. Nothing is stopping you from setting up a garage. And so let's say good morning to the folks at the garage out there in our good partner right in Hillsborough there, where we just go by oh Lord. Nazim, message us and remind us the name now. Wayne's Garage.
Wayne's Garage.
Good morning to the folks there at
Wayne's
Garage.
We stay away from Carriacou too long. So we keep forgetting key persons and names and so.
And then the persons who work at Paddy's Enterprises, our good friends at Paddy's Enterprises, and Bullins, and the Alexis supermarkets and so. And quite a bit of stuff is taking place in Carriacou. We've been Honorable Kindra Matthew and Stewart, one of these days when you're down on the mainland, we want to bring you in the studio.
She moving.
We know you just call every now and again. Just give us a little call. Just give us a little message. We think we want you in the studio with us. And while we're talking, we're going to show the people some of the work that you've been doing. 300 feet of road here.
I find she pick up a speed.
How much foot a drain here.
Like somebody running behind her or something,
I don't know if Kindra election is in a few years.
Yes, not next year, or later on this year.
A few years.
4 years from now, Mr. Maturin.
You see, people have this perception that you only do stuff when it's election time.
Close.
And she and the New National Party and a whole is showing that is not the case. You look at all the work that Skeeter has done in her period of time, Honorable Kate Skeeter Lois has done. You look at the amount of work that has been done in other areas, like for instance, Honorable Yolande Bain. Yeah, quite a bit of work that has been done in different areas up there. And each of the MPs, when you look at what they've been able to achieve in that space of time,
before I really have to say that everything. Honorable Yolande Bain Horsford, as she took on a project with some young people doing culinary arts and so. Sheldon, man, kudos to you, ma'am, and to all those who participated in that program. Most of them have now been graduated and are trying to either be small business people or get involved in some of the the business places where they do most of these things. And it's a joy, man.
What we can do on Mondays, as we mentioned some of these things, we're going to show it. And let you see some of what has been done. We're going to mention it and show it on Monday.
Exactly.
We're going to make that promise to you.
It is so.
Because we do have photos of the things that we're speaking about here, that you could see exactly
evidence
what has been going on. Remember, as of tomorrow, you can't import no styrofoam and thing in this place.
Yes,
forget that.
Yeah. The ban is there.
Yeah, you can't import it and it's not like the importers didn't know it. Government made sure it keep in contact
They know.
with them
They know
and so
months away,
Yeah,
months
so-
in advance.
can't be importing them plastic and all them kind of thing there again. All right, nice. We done with that. We ain't want them thing in replace again.
Yep, we're
Right?
getting rid of that. Stages. You see, just like the Privy Council, we phasing out the Privy Council and coming in with the CCJ, right? That is more acceptable and so for us.
We saying yeah to the CCJ.
Yes, yeah to the CCJ.
I know some people have a problem with saying, with the committee saying yes. What's your problem?
Yeah.
The committee saying say yes.
But that is the duty of the committee to ensure that
If-
that is.
If you want to stage a campaign to say no, that's your
That's
business.
That's your constitutional
But
right
I think
to
the,
do
the
that.
committee has a responsibility if they're putting forward an understanding that it is a good something for Grenada, has a responsibility to tell people vote in favor of it.
Well, that is
must-
the
why must-
entire purpose. That's the purpose of
Almost
it.
don't go and say don't vote or
Yeah.
maybe you should. No,
No,
come out and say vote for it. But I don't understand where you're coming with that.
You cannot get the state, the people of this country involved in something that you're not sure about. And that is what the committee and government is ensuring, that that's the way to go. So this is what we're proposing and putting out there, and these are the facts. Right? We don't want to discourage or tell people, no, we should know. We go in there, and that is where we go in. Right? So, yes, they have a right to tell people, yes, vote for the CCJ and go towards it. That is the job.
Yeah.
Take it how you want it. That is how it's supposed to be.
You ever was in choir and thing when I wasn't in choir, but you ever was in Mongolia was in choir, not me. Right. You was ever no you Karen, somebody else in Trinidad with the same name, right? Yeah, but you was ever in choir and thing and there's a song that they used to sing years ago, you say little boys choir and things sing it. We are going, heaven knows where we are going. You know that.
We are going, heaven knows where we are
No, I
going.
can't tell you which song that is.
Yeah.
I just remember that part of it.
We know we will. Dun,
Yeah.
dun,
But we'll get
dun,
there.
there.
Heaven knows how we
are
will get there.
going,
But I can't, you know,
heaven
I don't know the
knows
last time I
we
hear
are
a boys choir or a school
Sing that.
choir sing them kind of
Yeah,
song.
and you had different tone and the pitch and so going, and it was man.
Or you have a choir come and sing something like Bridge Over Troubled Waters
Yeah.
and them kind of thing, you know.
We will get it if we really want. Yeah,
Them used to sing
we
reggae
will.
and all kind of thing.
We will get it.
The one of them used to sing that and then they take over the country. So, they really want, so they wanted the country to take it over.
Yeah. And right, we really want the CCG, and that is where
Yeah.
we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can get it if we really want it. So,
Yeah, and
you know,
we will.
looking for the CCJ right now.
We will try.
And folks, over the next number of weeks leading up to the referendum itself, you will be hearing quite a bit of information through Hard Talk and other means in relation to the issue of the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
Hello.
Devon, weren't you part of the 4 or the 5 individuals that they get a couple slap with a ruler in Standard 5, and was you from Miss Bushel for singing that song? For refusing to stand in the back of the choir and not opening your mouth, as you would say?
We used to call her Shell Bush, you know, not Bushel. We used to call her Shell Bush. All due respect, ma'am.
Devon, he had to sing it to her.
You already, man. Watch, and all of you running him out and thing there.
He just tell-
You didn't want to see him and thing in school, in primary school, you know. He was a little, what you call it, boy, a little twit, you know.
I still a little stick.
I ain't taking part in that one. That's personal thing between you
That's
and
the
him.
mysterious little stick.
Right? Boss, you owe Brenda a call, man. Handle your
Yeah,
business.
that's
Handle your
what I'm for
business.
now today. I had to call him. And
Handle your
run around
business.
with that for now today.
So you good?
Alright.
Yeah, man.
Labor Day
Tired,
weekend?
man. I'll be all right.
Labor
Came
Day
back-
weekend, yeah.
Came back to a debt in
Oh, accept
Yeah.
our sympathy.
Yeah.
we lost
condolences.
a very good brethren, okay, Captain and I, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Who you lost?
Yeah.
Who you lost?
A friend.
Oh, okay.
Good
Alright.
friend.
A friend of ours.
Yeah, I thought for a minute there, I
Good
thought
friend
you call a certain partner. Is a partner you and Captain? All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Very, very good friend of ours.
Yeah. But how are things shaping up for the Labor Day weekend?
Well, it's shaping. It's the bands, so the different band sides are practicing hard as ever. The mass camps are buzzing, you know. Different events are taking place. There's not see much of the local, like the backyard events, and so I ain't seen much of those popping up. Maybe by tonight or tomorrow and so, but it's just going. Everything is usual stuff, usual buzz around the city, the borough of Brooklyn.
All right, wonderful, man.
Everything is going.
Hey man, enjoy yourself and don't do too much, all
Be
right?
safe. And we're getting program in the morning, right?
Listen, too much is never enough, and too many is easy to handle. Like when you want me to do it, when I pass on, I do it now.
I hear you. I hear you.
All right, bro. You enjoy the rest of your day
guys,
today.
catch
And we look
y'all
forward to
later.
your program in the morning from 6 a.m. market time. Yeah, 89.5.
Yep.
All right, 94.9 in
I
Brooklyn.
get into much threats
And
about it
6
not happening for the
a.m.,
past couple of weekends.
6 a.m.
And
Right.
don't wake me up. I don't want no notification.
Yeah, I'll be up. I'm coming from Sokamana around that time anyway, so I'll be up.
I hear you.
Show time.
Okay, brother.
All right, boss.
All right, guys.
You
Later.
enjoy the
one
rest of the
love.
day. Bye-bye.
Hey,
Folks,
hey,
that's
we out of
all
time.
the time
Yeah,
we
we
have
got-
for today.
And the week.
Yes, indeed. It's been a wonderful week and a wonderful month.
Yeah.
The month of August, Spice
August.
Mass.
Ooh, wonderful
Yeah.
month.
And we are out of here. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And in whatever you do, do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
Love each and every one of you.
Peace
Enjoy
out.
your weekend. And remember, school on Monday. If you had
back to school.
If you had to iron early. School on Monday. All right? Nice. Good. I hope you pay grand too, because if you had to iron and thing, you understand?
Our Grenadian people are proudly Caribbean, and we continually strengthen the bonds of the people of the region as together we embrace our collective destiny. We are the children of Marcus Garvey and Bob Marley, of Vivian Richards and David Rudder, as Caribbean as West Indies cricket, and as Caribbean as the University of the West Indies. We are reggae, we are soca, we are one vibration. Break the chains of colonialism for one united Caribbean. The Caribbean Court of Justice,